Okay. Start. Reaction. Okay, folks, good evening or good afternoon, no matter where you are in the world. This is Red Olin coming to you live from our tour bus, and we're going to call this show the Sunday Surprise, and we're here with a gentleman the whole way from Tasmania, but originally from Mullingar, part of our magnificent diaspora living in Tasmania for the last how many years? Tom, how are you?
I got there 32 years.
32 years you're in Australia. Well, not Australia, but Tasmania. You moved to Australia originally, did you?
I moved to Australia in 89.
89.
To Melbourne. And then I met my wife, Nikki, and moved to Tasmania 21 years ago.
21 years ago.
Yeah. 19 years ago.
And yes, and your whole family is over there. You have two beautiful daughters, I believe, as well. And they're growing up in Tasmania and turning out to be absolute magnificent ladies. They're big into sport.
Yes, my two girls are into basketball and love their sports, love their Gaelic football, love the soccer, AFL, and just enjoy, life.
Life in general. And as you can see, I've got my Hurley, Adrian Moran from Moran Hurley sent this to me. But do you play hurling yourself still?
I played a lot. When I came down here in 89 in Melbourne, I used to play for a club called Gary Owen. And I spent 20 years playing for Gary Owen. I played for Victoria 7 times. Got 2 Australian medals for playing hurling as a player coach. I also coached ladies football team with the Gary Owen ladies football team, and we won for 5 years. Won every trophy going. And just to give you the heads up, here's my hurling stick.
Sure.
Here's my old coach. Look at this.
Oh yes, indeed. Bits and pieces hanging off it and all.
Oh Jesus! You know what? Don't come into the house. And this is how I got myself into hurling, was through Oliver Plunkett's.
Oh, in Mullingar.
In Mullingar, yeah. I Tony Donoghue, God rest his soul, and Brendan Lyons and John Joe Lynch, the big John Joe, got me involved when I was a young fella, and I've never looked back.
Exactly, and it's, when you think about it, it's a great thing to carry, apart from that you don't be beaten up with a hurl, but it's it's a great grounding, and the GA have done so much in Ireland, like for the diaspora, especially because you've done a lot in general. Since you moved to Tasmania, you set up a GA club, is that right?
While I was in Victoria, I was president of the Victorian GA, president of the Victorian Gaelic Football Association.
Mm.
And then when I moved to Tasmania in 2001, 2, we started up the Gaelic Football Association in Tasmania. And then the kids came along, and after a few years we stopped, but I'm still refereeing.
Go away.
At the age of 53, I still put the referee jersey on and go, red and white car.
Is it a dangerous job in Tasmania, being a referee?
Oh, it can be sometimes. But it was actually more dangerous in Victoria when you come up against guys from the north of Ireland and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Go on. And tell me, what business did you get involved in then when you went to Australia originally in 89? I
always been involved in hospitality. And when I came out here first, I came off the airplane, and my first job was the Dana Collins Hotel in Melbourne, which was an Irish pub. And then we started up the big Irish pub brand called the Bridie O'Reilly's franchise. And I was one of the first managers. There's now a guy from Longford, Mark O'Reilly. He's still part ownership of it. But I moved on to Tassie and still in hospitality. working at a sailing club down here in Tasmania called the Derwent Sailing Squadron, which hosts the Lonnie to Hobart and the Melbourne to Hobart, and sometimes it gets involved with the Sydney to Hobart.
A lot of expensive boats down there, I believe.
Jeez, well, way too much for my sense.
Yeah, it's not like being in day in Loughool or anything like that.
Oh, jeez, no, it wouldn't be. Well, I'll never forget when I fell into the water in Loughool. I nearly drowned, so I won't go there. I'm better on dry land than on wet land.
So you got into the hospitality, but I mean in Australia. But where did you work when you were in Mullingar?
I first started off in the Bloomfield House Hotel, and with Ned Raleigh. I used to caddy at the Mullingar Golf Course back when I was young, and I think I caddied for your uncle at one stage.
Wow! I hope he looked after you.
Yeah, I'm packing the chips in at Club Orange.
Hey! Absolutely.
And then went to the Greville Arms with Christy May.
Wow! And from there, then you left and went to Australia.
I left, yeah, and I would have loved to have been back home in Ireland when my father had the pub in Edgeworthstown called Jack's Corner House.
I was in it.
Yeah, I've been there since I've been home a couple of times. Go down and check up and make sure it's all right. But I would have been loved to be there working for him, but unfortunately, I went to Australia and to have a go myself, and I'm quite happy. Yeah.
Why did you go to Australia?
Oh, Jesus, that's a long story.
Is this a dangerous story?
My wife's shaking her head going,
oh, don't go there.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Nikki, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I left Ireland with a girl from Castlepollard, and her brothers were living in Australia, so we came out here to have a go as a 1-year working holiday visa, and I happy to stay and have a crack, and that's what I've done.
Excellent. And do you reckon it's the best decision you ever made?
Yes, I have to agree. Yes, it's been hard being away from Mullingar and family and friends back home in Ireland, but I've come out here as an independent, made it myself, and people. My kids walk down the street and kids go, Dad, is there anyone that you don't know? So, which is good. So, yeah.
Well, your personality is very open, and people can definitely warm to you straight away. And I mean, there's no holds barred. I mean, and that's an Irish thing, but I mean, it's your own personal thing. And as I say, you went out at that age. I mean, you were very young. You must have been what, 19 or 17, 18?
I just turned 21, 89.
So in the time of your life, it was like, this is what I do. You've gone through a lot already, and at 21, you know everything. Don't forget, we knew everything when we were 21.
Oh, geez, we knew everything going up in Mullingar, and I still know everything.
Excellent. Have you been home recently?
The last time I was home was 2017. I lost my mother a couple of years before that, which was very unfortunate because I was very close to my mother.
Lovely woman.
And my mother was very, very well known around the town. And yeah, it was just tough not being there when she passed away, but I was glad to get home just the day before the funeral, and to see the amount of people that actually turned up for Mum's funeral just actually blew me out of the waters.
That's right, because I believe you drove all over the countryside that day with the funeral.
Yes, as you know, we left Edgeworthstown straight through Mullingar. Even the cops closed the roads first, and especially my father being very well known, the driver instructor and the fireman and the public, and everybody knows Jack Bawle.
That's right.
And I was honestly to come home from Australia for my mother's funeral, not knowing what was going on, and to turn up that night. I actually turned up the night before, but 9 o'clock from the airport. Got to the house at 10 o'clock. The mum's coffin was still in the house. Then the funeral. Wow, what my mother, one of the best send-offs I've seen for any funeral. So yeah.
Excellent. So your daughters are, as I said, they're very much involved in sport. Is it Niamh that's interested in the basketball, is it? Or is it Siobhan?
No, Niamh's, they're both involved in basketball, but Niamh's, she's the eldest one, which is doing very well at the moment. She's representing Tasmania under 18 at the age of 16. And she's looking to go a college scholarship in America.
Excellent. Well, that's it's a great place, and if she's any good at all, she get in there, like, because America is very much geared up towards people who are interested more than anything else.
But another thing that the girls have just told me after we had a chat is that they've just started playing Gaelic football at the school.
Wow.
And when the girls were back home in 2017, they went to a Gaelic football college with one of their nephews, Thomas, our cousin Thomas, and yeah, they rave about it. So they're playing Gaelic football in the school, and I'm going, geez, I'll come and show you how to do a few tricks and stuff like that.
The biggest matches that were held in Croke Park, there was about, the ladies had the biggest matches, the biggest attendance.
Yeah.
And it's a total different game, and you understand it yourself. I mean, I wouldn't be a big GA supporter or follower or understanding of it, but to see girls playing football is a totally different game.
Oh, absolutely. And to see girls playing AFL football out here is completely different. And it's good to see Irish girls coming out from Ireland to play for different clubs out here.
Wow. It is, and because as I said, I remember watching it there one day, and they're taking frees from the line, like the middle of the field, at goals, you know, and getting goals, like.
That's a good effort.
Yeah, that's the way. Another thing that you must check out is Loaf of Bread GAA podcast, right?
Yeah.
And that's a gentleman that was speaking to us. Keelan is his name, Jason Keelan, and he spoke to us recently on the bus, and he was telling us about his podcast, and it's really storytelling about the other side of GAA, probably the side that people don't really listen to or look at in the GAA, because there's so much history involved in the GAA, and he's worth checking out. It's a podcast, and it's on Spotify, so another area for you to cover. And tell us, how did you hear of our bus session?
I just happened to be on Facebook one night, and I looked up I saw the name Ray Dolan. I said, hold on a minute, I know the Dolan family, and I know you're Ben, your dad. Is that right?
That's right. Ben is my father, and there's Adrian is my brother. Adrian, Ray, Michael.
Which one you had the pubs?
Colin.
Yeah. The one down beside the roundabout.
Exactly, yeah. That's where the pub, well, it's been in the family for 1977, and we all actually went through the pub learning our trade. Yeah. Learning about life, I think, is the best thing you could say about the pub trade. And
it's like what I did in the Greville Arms.
Exactly, totally, because I mean the Greville was Marion in the Greville at that time. Marion.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
And but what I'm saying is
now you got John Corcoran.
John Corcoran is there. Who else was there? Who was the manager at that time in the Greville Arms? Was it Donegal man? No,
it was Kilkenny man.
Kilkenny man. Oh yeah, that's right. He went back to
Jerry Rafter. Jerry Rafter was the bar manager.
That's right. Yeah. And Pearsons were there for a long time as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And Brian Pearson, he's took up the gauntlet as well. He's in the catering end of it as well. He's a manager in different hotels around. Who actually we were going to be neighbours of theirs, like growing up down the road from Pearsons. They were about 4 or 5 houses away from us, you know.
Oh God, Jesus!
And tell me, where did you live in town then? Did you live in town or out of town?
No, we lived in, well, our first house was in Dalton Park, 184 Dalton Park. I'll never forget that one. And then we moved to Newlands, 57 Newlands.
Mm.
So down, and I went to school at the oh Jesus, what's the one up the road from the park?
Yeah, the community college it's called now.
Yes.
It'd be quite close to where your house was in Newlands.
Yeah, we used to walk there.
Yeah. Do you do much walking now yourself?
Oh, I do a bit. I actually do a lot of walking because it's easy for me to walk to work, and instead of driving because Nicky's got the car. But I still walk, and I try and keep fit that way. I still do a bit of bike riding, but other than that, But I'll never forget my days in Mullingar going to the college or the school up the road, and some of the stuff we got on up there was fantastic.
My cousin Maeve would have been there. Maeve.
Yes, actually, Maeve Donner. She was.
And I don't know, did Sandra go there? My sister now. No, I think she's in the Loretto. Yeah.
No, Loretto College. Oh God, with the nuns. Ooh.
That's right. All the nuns have gone now. And Sister Maculata actually died not too long ago as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was around for a long time.
She was there for a good while. Yeah. So
because my two sisters, well, two of my sisters went to Loretto College, Margaret and Martina.
Brilliant. So you better bring your wife in there and say hello to us. Nikki.
Come in.
Nikki, how's it going?
Going well, thank you. Yourself?
Fantastic, Nikki. So tell us, you're married 20 years. Is it recently? What date did you get married on, or is it?
So we're coming up 20 years in August. In August,
a good time to get married.
Good time in Ireland. It's winter in Australia, but we did it upside down.
And did all the family come out to the wedding?
No, only my dad and my twin brother Jerry.
Very good. And
Jerry's working at Canton Casey's.
That's right, yeah. Actually, this is where we get all our hoodies from the man who owns Canton Casey's.
You tell Jerry he better send me one out.
Definitely. We're chatting to Jerry there not too long ago. They're closed at the moment, so lockdown is serious here at the moment. You don't really have too much of a lockdown in Tasmania, Nikki.
No, not in Australia really. We've been very lucky. Our government's handled it really well. In Tasmania, where we are, which is, for those that don't know, it's the little island off the bottom of Australia. We basically have no cases down here. So it's sort of it's like the new normal. I think Tom was saying to you before, we still do the 1.5 metre distancing, so we have to do social distancing. We still have limits on numbers per venue. If you end up with a cold or a flu, you still have to go and get a COVID test just to check. So they're very much on it, but our kids have been back at school, pretty well normal. They did the homeschooling last year, probably for a term.
Yeah, one. Yeah.
And then we've just sort of been, it's sort of like the new normal. We're very lucky. We've got to be very careful because we can't be too, we can't get too lazy about it. The rest of Australia, again, Victoria, where we met, that one's just had a little lockdown just to deal with a couple of cases, but we're very lucky in Australia. But our borders are closed, unfortunately. You can't get in this country at the moment if you're not Australian.
Brilliant. And tell us, what do you work at yourself now?
I work at the university in Tasmania. I'm not an academic. That's not my role. I'm maybe a little smarter sometimes than some of the academics, but so I basically work in, I've just taken on a new job actually, working in the Vice-Chancellor's office, working with university committees.
Brilliant. And tell us the story of how you met.
Well, there's two versions.
The official one and the unofficial one.
Which one do you want? Do you want the fun one or the real one?
Okay, give us your version.
Oh, mine. Oh, well, it's not too different to his. So we met playing Gaelic football in Victoria, where we used to live in Melbourne. I was playing for a ladies team, and Tom was coaching another team. And we met in a grand final, and his girls beat us. So we all ended up at the the buggers. We all ended up at the same pub at the end of the tournament, and let's just say the rest was history.
Excellent.
No, you've got to tell the rest of it.
Oh, that's your bit.
So give us a little bit of history on Tasmania then. What exactly is Tasmania to anyone who's looking in here from Mullingar, and what sort of country it is? Is it big?
No, it's tiny. Well, sorry. Geographically, it's about the same size as Ireland. However, we only have about 500,000 to 600,000 people in the state. So we're still a state of Australia. We're still part of Australia. But we're the smallest state, I think, in Australia. So the whole west coast is basically wilderness. So it's not inhabited by humans, lots of wildlife. So basically the north, east and south of the state and parts of the middle are populated. We live in the south, in Hobart, or just south of Hobart. Our main things are probably hospitality and tourism, which has been badly impacted by COVID, which has been, it's a worldwide issue. But we also have agriculture, sort of cattle and sheep and that sort of thing, and fish and seafood is mammoth. Yeah. Salmon in particular. Salmon's one of our major exports.
But with Tasmania, we've got places named like Longford in Ireland. We've got a place called Longford in Tasmania.
Wow.
And if you look at some of the streets around Hobart and stuff like that, we've got Mead. We've got a lot of Irish heritage, which is fantastic. It's if you look at Ireland's culture with the green and stuff like that, and then you look at Tasmania, we're a bit similar with when you look at it. I look at Tasmania going, oh, there's a bit of Irish here, there's a bit, oh, geez, a bit of Irish, but there's a lot of English heritage here as well as. But when you look at it, you go, geez, this reminds me of home.
Exactly, and probably you feel very comfortable there as well by being surrounded in that sort of the greenness, as I say.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, look, guys, I appreciate us coming on board here. We're recording this, and then we're going to put it up on Facebook. And I'm delighted that you made contact with us. And it's very interesting that we were putting up a post there with we were down with Grove Cafe and Bakery, and you left a message on it, trying to go live with us on Facebook, but I don't think it'd work at the day.
But you've done Oscars as well, which my sister works at Oscars.
Go on.
Yeah, Trace. My sister Trace works at Oscars.
Amazing.
So, my other sister works up in Super Queen. Is that what you call it over there?
Yeah, the Super Queen. There's a few of them in town. Yeah,
Super Queen. So yeah.
Is that Marshall Super Queen? Oh, is it Buckley Super Queen or Marshall's?
Oh God, no! Hold on a minute.
I know it's only 89 years or 90. For home.
No, it's well, no, it wouldn't be. What's the Audi's? Is it Audi's? No.
Yeah. Anyway, not to worry. We're not going to put you under pressure of trying to figure out the townland and how it's all set up here at the moment. But look, we really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your. Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday night, school night, work night.
It's Saturday night, isn't it?
No, Sunday.
Oh, it's Sunday, yeah. Oh, it's Sunday night.
10 to 10. Sunday night, 10 to 10. And
excellent. So it's work in the morning then for both of you.
Yeah.
Well,
no, not for him.
Be off tomorrow.
Right. Thank you very, very much, Nikki and Tom. And great to have you on board here on the bus. As you see, this is our bus. This is the setup. These are the seats. This is the seat Uncle Joe sat in when we were on tour. We still have the bus. Wow. And this bus has been so so good to me. I mean, I just can't believe we bought this brand new, and we set it out. We had ordinary seats in it, and then the seats weren't good enough, and they weren't great comfort. So we ended up getting better seats. We bought this in 2007, and literally in 2000 and at the end of 2007, Uncle Joe passed away. So he travelled in it probably 3 or 4 times, and but I just can't get over how good this bus. Even you see this here. Look, this is I can put this on board. So this is to put whatever his headphones or his you know.
Your uncle Joe. Yeah. Your Uncle Joe was brilliant. He was a brilliant man for Mullingar, and his music is to die for.
You still listen to it, huh?
Oh, jeez, yeah. And people, when I say come from Mullingar, you're from Joe Dolan's country. That's what they say to me. I go, yeah, I'm from the town, the statue.
And it's so like Joe, the statue is there in town, and it was literally put up by the council literally less than a year when he passed away, and people come and see it every day. But I mean, there's so much music in Mullingar. You would have known at that time it was emerging as a music town. But we have we have Brezzy now, and we have Niall Horan, and there's a there's a lot of new bands that are touring the world. Well, were touring the world, and as I say, we always plug the town because, well, Uncle Joe was very fond of his town and very fond of the people of the town. And no matter where he was in the world, he always says he was from Mullingar. And this is a prime example of it, chatting to each other, the other end of the world, and I standing in the bus outside the house. I mean, if I said that to you in 1989, you'd say, he's lost it.
He's going crazy.
And I've got to tell you, my girls, if Niall Horan ever tunes in, my girls love you, Niall.
Excellent. It's like as I said, there's so much music in the town, and so much good things are going on in the town. We're plugging it all the time. So thank you very much, and really, really appreciate the chat. And we'll definitely keep in touch as we go further on into the year. And you never know, we might get another chat going, or maybe you can connect us up with someone else, Tom, that we can go live with. Thank you very much. I'm going to knock this off. I'm going to put this straight up and
hold on. Can I go?
Tom.
Dum, 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 dum.
Are you counting?
Dum.
Are you counting?
That's it.
Right, from the 12 bongs and the bus session, leaving Tom Bawle in Tasmania. Good luck and God bless, and thanks for saying hello to us. We'll see you all very soon indeed. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Go to Mohagat.